Video on no good deed going unpunished. So, I made a cheesecake for a friend. Oh, I've got a cable in there. I made a cheesecake for a friend. I didn't charge her. She hasn't got a lot of money. And it was like a family function type thing. So I just made a cheesecake. Didn't charge her. And now, because I've done one favour for one person, someone else wants something else. But they are insisting on paying. But they too haven't got quite a lot of money. So I'm going to do something really kind of quite cheap for them, as cheap as I can. They don't want a cheesecake. They want a Black Forrest Gateaux type of thing. So I'm going to utilise kind of what I've got and what I've got kicking about, and kind of keep the cost down as well. I'll throw in a bit of free stuff because that's kind of how it works, and it will be nicer. And because I'm going to use some cheaper stuff, I'm charging her for like the base kind of ingredients. We can make it a little bit more nicer. So Black Forest Gateaux, basically chocolate sponge, cream, some form of cherry alcohol, some form of cherry kind of compote, and did I say cream? And that's about it really. In the kind of base form of it, we can go a lot more extravagant if we want. So I'm going to use sour cherry jam from Lidl as the cherry element of it. That'll be very nice. It is very nice jam, is that. And then we've got some cream. I'm going to, so I don't want the cream to be too hard when it's whipped, and Lidl don't sell whipping cream. So what I've done is I have bought double cream, and we're going to let it down with some single cream. So what you do is well, I'll show you in a second, but you whip the double cream first, and then when that's whipped, you add the single cream and then re-whip it, and you get a softer whipped cream, because double cream by itself can be a little bit hard, but we whip some cream there, so it's just a bit softer and a little bit more forgiving. So that's just a little bit of a, I don't think it's the chef's trick, because the chef didn't teach me it. It was something that I figured out by myself. So that's going to be the cream element, and then we've got some chocolate. Now, I didn't buy any cherry alcohol. What I did do is I bought some vodka, and we have got some, I don't think there's any cherries in the bottom of that. There might be a couple of cherries in the bottom of that. We have that, and it's got the cherry juice still in it. So it's been in the back of the cupboard for a couple of years, and I just kind of thought, ooh, that's kind of quite interesting. It's starting to caramelise on the bottom of there. Ooh, we'll just have a look at that. That would be a bit interesting. Can we? Is that a sugar crystal? It's just started to crystallise on the bottom of the jar. That's rather nice. So what we're going to do is, to make the cherry alcohol, we're going to use vodka, and we're going to use that cherry juice, and then it will kind of get the idea of cherry alcohol. I need some kind of reciprocal. And then we've got a bit of, also, this isn't Mason's gin, this is just the jar from the Mason's bottle from Mason's gin. That is the alcohol that I squeezed out of some blueberries that my friends had given me, some blueberry gin. They make their own blueberry gin. They give me the blueberries, I put it in cakes and things. And then there's always a little bit of alcohol left in the blueberries that doesn't really want to go in the cake, so I always kind of squeeze it out. So we'll use that as well to kind of doctor up a bit of cherry liqueur. So a mixture of those, but I'll do this in a minute. Now, I was kind of thinking, oh, well, what you do is you just make a sponge, and it is a 3, I'll put the dimensions of the baking tray in the description. No, we'll do it now. I'll find my tape measure and we'll measure it now, and then it's a record on the video. Right, so it is 13.5 inches, 34 centimeters by 10.5 inches, 27 centimeters. So we've got that on record. Now, if you're dividing cakes and you haven't got a fancy machine to do it, you kind of need to do it with your knife. It's a little bit daunting the first time you do it, but I will walk you through it. It doesn't get a perfect result. Well, the more practice you do, the more you do it, you get a better result. So it's a little bit unnerving. So I wanted this into 3. I've already done one part of it. So you kind of divide the side into 3, and then you gently, well, this is now in, I want this in half, so this is easier. So get that to halfway down the sponge point and cut into a corner, trying to be as level as possible. Now go to a point there, and what you're going to do is you're going to use, because we know hopefully that's all been level to the right kind of depth, so we're going to use that depth to kind of cut further along this side, so we know roughly that it's the right kind of level. So, and because the knife is not cutting into anything, it's just resting on the top of that sponge that's in between those two sponges, we know that's keeping it at the level, so it's easier to keep it at the level. So as long as we keep an eye on the outside, hopefully as we cut into it, doing the same there, so gently going round like that. So you can see the knife there, so that's moving freely, so we just need to carve into there like that. So where we've already cut is being a bit of a guide to where we're cutting. You need a long knife for this, long, thin, relatively sharp knife, but just going round, doing it gently is the old-fashioned way of doing it, rather than buying something that's like a proper cake slicer. Because I don't know, if you started a hobby like baking, you don't want to go out and have to buy. I can't imagine there's many people who can go out and buy all the equipment all in one go. It's the type of hobby where you build your hobby as you kind of go along. But I'm buying something that slices into cakes to get them equally level is not kind of high on your priority list. A mixer would be a little bit higher than that, or a hand mixer first. So I was talking, well, I should have been explaining. So as it kind of gets to there, so as you've gone all the way around, there might be a little patch in the center which you haven't cut through yet. But now, because we've got the guide of it all the way through, we can just simply cut along the cake like that, and then it is done like that. So that's relatively flat. Not done too bad a job. So we'll stick one of those in the bottom of the container, and then we'll start. We'll make up some. We'll make up some of that cherry brandy ginny vodka type stuff, and then we'll put it together, I think, and then we can do the recipe. So we'll be able to know how many milliliters of double cream, how many milliliters of silver cream, how much alcohol, how much jam, that type of thing, how much sponge. I did say it was a 6-egg sponge mixture, but there we go. So have a bit of a tidy up, get everything together, and then we'll put it all together into the tin. Oh, it's not going to be a gateau as such, so I'm going to make it in the tin. I didn't do a particularly good job there, but anyway, that can be the middle part, and that can be the top and bottom parts. So I'm not going to do it. And I suppose I might have a tray big enough. We'll see. Well, the first tray. Well, the tray will do the job. Might put it together on that. Yeah, I think we might put it together on that. That might be a little bit easier. Yeah, so we'll get everything together, and then we'll put it together, and it's just a case of putting it together. But there we go, I'll be back in a bit. Right, so let's make some fake cherry brandy, or kirsch. Oh, kirsch is clear, isn't it? But yeah, it'll be fine. So, cherry flavour, cherry syrup, really, into there, like that. There's a few of those crystallised bits of sugar won't matter. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it starts to crystallise on the bottom, that's interesting. So, let it know like that. So you can have that cherry juice and that alcohol that's in that bottle for free. So, I'll charge you a little bit for this vodka. So it's like 12 quid for 70 centilitres. So, it's probably a lot more than we need. So, what's that? A quarter of a bottle. That just rests everything out of the way, and just give that a shake up, and we'll give it a taste. What does it taste? Something like, it'll be fine. I'm not going to use that. So how does this look? A little bit. It'll be a little bit cloudy because of that alcohol from the blueberries and from the cherry syrup. How does it taste? Ooh, ooh, that's quite delicious. Is that? That's quite delicious. So I really should make an old-fashioned cocktail with those cherries. So cherries are out of the way, and then how are we going to do this? Cherry jam first, won't it? So that on down like that. That out of the way. So we really need to. Let's do this properly. Let's do this properly. Right. So there was about 500 milliliters of the fake alcohol. So that's 200. I'm going to do 2 of these. So that's 250 milliliters per cake, and then just thump over the end, and then just give that a bit of a douse in alcohol. We're only going to do this on the bottom and the middle layers. We might do it on the top as well. I don't want it to be too wet. And then I'm going to put some jam on. So it's nice and fruity, is this jam? Does it? Oh, yeah, it will be jam first, won't it? Won't be cream, will it? Don't know. Don't know. We've committed now. We've committed now. So it might be a little bit of a problem getting it out of this container, but that'll be fine. So I'm not going too far to the edge because it will press down. But 1 jar of jam per how much? 450 gram jar of jam per layer, I think will be enough. You don't want to put too much in, and we just want to get it relatively level, like that. Then we want 1/3 of this cream. So per cake it was 900 milliliters of double cream and 900 milliliters of single cream. I think it needs a little bit more of a whip. We'll be back. Here we go, that's better. So roughly 1/3 of the cream. I'm going to save some for the top. Now we just need to gingerly spread this out. If we're too rough with it, it'll want to push the jam away from the centre out onto the outside. So it's not what we want. We want there to be jam all over the place. But we still want to see the jam and the cream at the outsides. Yeah, I'm glad I made it in this tray, because with the I've got to transport it. It might just want to wobble everywhere. So not like that. That looks about even. And what we'll do is we'll just give it a quick flatten down. Now, the slice that I made a slight mess of, that can go. How is it going to go? It's going to be a bit of a pain to put on. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Make a mess of the grease bug base, but it'll be fine. No, that's what we'll do. Let's see if we can just flip it on top. We've just got a pan of ragu that's on the back of the stove. I better just cover that. I don't want cake in my ragu. Although it wouldn't bother me. If it's only for me, I'm not really bothered. So, we should be able to just do this without making a mess of it. Don't know. I think we should probably just have a go. There we go. That'll do the job. So, gingerly put that into position. That'll be fine. See, it was just the top which was just a little bit crumbly, but we can press it down and no one will ever know. I think this will be fine. Now, more alcohol. More alcohol, and then another thing of jam, which I bought plenty, but I can't get it open because I've got wet hands. There we go. So, another layer of jam, and then another layer of cream. And I'll take a picture tomorrow. She's invited me. I don't really like social functions, if I'm entirely honest. I'd much rather be at home these days. Although to be honest, I think I always did prefer to be at home. You force yourself to go out when you're younger because you want to meet people. Well, meet women. But as you get older, staying home's much nicer. Alright, so it smells good. Alright, so then let's put blobs of cream. Let's learn slightly from our mistakes. Yeah, I think that's about the right amount of cream. Save that amount of cream for the top. That. Now, what did I use that? Did I push it around with that? Yes. That's fine. So, and then I've got some dark chocolate left over from another thing, so she can have that for free. So I'm only really going to charge her for the bit of sponge, the cream, 4 pots of jam, and the quarter of a bottle of vodka. And she can have well, like the eggs and the fat and the flour and the sugar, but like a minimal cost of that. Right, so that's that. And then where's the lid? Lid's here. So the lid's a little bit more robust than the centre part. That out of the way. So the lid just should adjust. There's a mess of that as well. That's the only problem with chocolate sponge, because you have to put cocoa powder in it. It's a little bit more frail, but like my grandma always used to say, cover it in cream and no one will ever know. So a little bit more booze, and then cream on top. It'll be easy to spread that cream. I'm not going to put jam on another layer. Like that. And then we've got some, so then there's just some grated chocolate tomorrow. I'll just have to remember to take my grater with me. I don't think there'll be one at the places she's having it. So that can go on top like that. That is a relatively cheap, relatively easy Black Forest-ish Gateaux for a friend.